Hey, what's up? This is Travis from Social Code, and you're at Popularity.
Can you describe how the process coming up to this last album, Rock and Roll, changed the band's outlook?
Yeah, it was a lot more natural. You know, we just kind of took, it was more about just us four guys really sitting in a room and just kind of doing what we wanted to do and not doing what we kind of felt was popular of the day or trends or, you know, we weren't really overly influenced by modern music that was happening kind of right now. So we just really kind of looked backwards at music and started looking at older bands and just kind of got in touch with what kind of got us into music in the first place.
Because of your, change of focus, were you nervous about fan reactions to the new material, or did you feel that at that point you pretty much nailed down the Social Code formula?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've been a band for long enough, and, you know, we've been in the studio, done varieties of different recordings, and we know that at the end of the day, it still is going to be Social Code, and people are going to like us for who we are as a band, and, I mean, there's going to be certain records that they're going to like more than others, and if some fans don't like this record, we didn't care. You know, we haven't seen that. We've seen actually the exact opposite. You know, we've seen a lot more support than we've ever had, like from radio. Like Satisfied was in the top 20 for like 15 or 18 weeks or something. So, I mean, you know, I think people kind of embraced it a little bit more.
How do you feel that you've changed musically and personally throughout the creation process for the album?
Musically and personally? I don't know, we just evolved, you know, we just kind of, we're older and we've been songwriting for 10, 12 years now, and, you know, it's just a progression, you know, every record's a progression, everything we do is a progression, everything in life is a progression, so we're growing, we're living, we're experiencing new things, and finding out new parts of who we are as people, and yeah, we just kind of put that together on a record. Like, this record is just really natural, it's just kind of who we are, and, you know, it's just kind of, we didn't really want to overthink it.
What part of the album making process did you find to be most challenging this time around?
Most challenging, the artwork. I don't know. This record was less of a struggle and less of a challenge than anything else we've ever really done. So, I mean, I guess doing it independently, releasing it totally independent, and being in the driver's seat for everything that we've done. As far as the writing and creative side of it, you know, it wasn't really more challenging at all, but as far as just, I guess, marketing it and kind of doing all that side of it has taken on a lot more time, effort.
How do you feel that the Canadian tour has been going so far?
I think it's been good. We're on tour with Airborne right now, and it is awesome. It's really, really great. We're having a good time. Playing to a very rock and roll crowd, which is fits our record and fits the whole kind of thing that we're kind of about. And yeah, we're super happy.
Are there any songs in particular that you think you get the best reaction from live?
Satisfied. I mean, Satisfied's doing really well at radio, and I think a lot of people kind of connected with it. You know, it's kind of interesting twist on a standard kind of a rock concept. You know, like it's I guess it's about a very sexually expressive woman taking hold and taking charge of, you know, I guess having a one-night stand. But I think a lot of people are kind of relating to that because there's a whole ton of songs about the guys kind of being the initiators, and you know, I think that the women sometimes get overlooked as sometimes being the initiators in that situation as well.
Can you pick a couple highlights about the record and tell us what they mean to you?
I will say highlight number one is Rock and Roll, the song Rock and Roll, because the song was written to kind of be like the big monster rock song. I kind of came up with this idea for it and brought it to the guys, and my idea was to write like this massive guitar-based, soloed, amazing rock song, and it kind of ended up taking like a 180-degree turn, and we ended up writing like this really down-tempo ballad, and then we ended up starting the record with it. So that was like the biggest highlight for me. The most exciting part of it was so, you know, backwards that maybe somebody's going to buy our record and it's going to be called Rock and Roll, and they're going to put it on, and it's going to be like the slowest song on the entire CD is track one. So yeah, that to me is pretty cool. I like it. we covered a song by Journey called Lights that we actually weren't able to include on the record, just for kind of publishing reasons and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I've never listened too much to Journey, so we released it on iTunes Canada actually, and it sounds pretty cool. I like it. Those are two highlights.
Other than rock and roll, did any of the songs take a different direction than you initially thought that they would?
We don't ever really, that's the thing about songwriting for us, is we don't hold it too intently on what that initial vision is. Like, it's about coming up with an idea and molding it and fleshing it out and letting it go where it's going to go and letting the song be what it is. So I would say all songs changed.
Is there one memory that stands out from the creation process?
No. Not really. I mean, we recorded it all in the dead of winter. Our producer was from Los Angeles, and he was just dumbfounded with the fact that it was minus 40 every day. That was pretty funny, actually. We used to go for Indian food at this awesome restaurant in St. Albert called Haweli, and it's a pretty good memory.
What would you say is the biggest challenge facing the band right now?
I guess keeping it floating, keeping it going. Being an independent band, you don't have a big financial backing from a label, so you really have to be selective in kind of where you choose to spend the money. But I mean, that's a good thing too, because labels just tend to sometimes throw money at the wall and see what sticks, so there's good and bad to it. But it's challenging to be in a band at times, and it's not at other times, and it's just what we do. So we're quite comfortable with it.
Is there anything in particular that you're trying to open people's minds up to with the album?
Yeah, I guess overall it's like, I think the art of the record is dead. I think that people don't write records anymore. Back in the day, people used to buy them and they used to listen from track 1 to track 11 or whatever. And, records have a flow and have a beginning and a middle and an end, and we tried to write an entire album with singles on it, not just an album of singles. Lots of artists these days are just selling singles on iTunes, and maybe the records aren't good, maybe they're not thinking of what kind of a song that they want on the album. A lot of bands are just putting their 11 best, tries at writing a hit song, and whatever works will work. That's just not what we were into. We wanted to make a record what inspired us with music, Stone Temple Pilot records or Black Crowes, or, you listen to a Bruce Springsteen record all the way through, and, those records are crafted. Led Zeppelin, you can't just, you're not just sure you're going to listen to the hits, but, there's those other B-sides that are just something pretty amazing. So that's what that's I guess the big message we wanted to get out to people, that, should listen to the record from start to finish.
What does the next 12 months hold for Social Code?
We're probably going to Indonesia to do a little tour out there. So we're going to do some work overseas. We're just going to keep touring. This Airborne tour is going good, so we're going to keep on that for another week or so. And then close to Christmas, we usually wind down touring when it's wintertime in Canada. We don't like to go out unless the right opportunity presents itself. So a couple of us are going to be moving to Los Angeles and just going to be writing down there, and who knows if it's going to be for the next Social Code record, or if it's going to be with other bands, or we're not really sure. We're just going to kind of go down there and get creative for a while.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the readers of Popularity?
Thanks for reading.